Cory, you and I are checking out a very unique experience back in time. It is Gerda Flamin' Winter. Dude, that's right off the hop. There's a unique title and a name you don't hear very often. And from that point forward, Cory, it kind of sets the tone of the game a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah.
What do you think of this one?
Honestly, these point and click style games are games that we've actually played quite a few of, and you and I have actually reviewed quite a few of these games. And Gerda Flamin' Winter is kind of really based on this story of Gerda and her life and kind of the decisions she has to make as we kind of tiptoe our way through kind of the end of World War II here. And the kind of unique thing I thought about Gerda's character is that she's actually Danish and German. And obviously we're in a Danish town, a small Danish town that Gerda's from. And she runs into some issues with her husband and the fact that her father's part of the kind of German occupation in the town. And there's a lot of decisions Gerda has to make throughout this story that really kind of pull you in certain directions. And this is actually part of the game that I actually truly enjoyed, was kind of the mechanic of how the conversations work in this game. And you kind of build up points and trust with certain characters and actually certain parties in the game, whether it be Germans, the Danes, the occupation, and even the resistance, which I really actually thought was kind of a cool mechanic. It's what kept you kind of really involved in the conversations and really kept you paying attention to the story. And that's really what kind of caught me right at the beginning, was kind of how involved I got in the story, because the decisions are, you're not just kind of clicking through on this and letting it go. You want to understand what these characters are going through so you can make the right decisions, because as you go through these conversations, man, I was getting some minus points where I thought maybe I should be getting positives. And, there's things here you really got to consider as you go through. And I thought they did a good job just kind of presenting that, because these games can tend to be stale because there is a lot of reading. So I know that's kind of something we both had a bit of an issue with, but my overall experience actually has been pretty good.
So the difference between your play style, and my play style was that I played it on the Switch, where you played on PC. I played it over on the Nintendo Switch, and it feels at home on the Switch. I think that's the biggest highlight, dude. It's a small screen to play in handheld mode, though. I'll be honest, there's a lot of reading on screen.
Yes.
I think that, again, right, that's one of our biggest contentions about the game. There are certain moments where that chapter kind of ends, or those few hours. So the way it works is it gives you the day, like 1943 it starts, and then from there it gives you the day itself and then the hour, right? And it progresses through the game. But as each one of those episodes kind of end, it pops up with an overall summary. Dude, I found myself actually taking notes. Okay, this is what happened this day at this hour, and this was what happened here. I really kind of fell in love with the story. That was the biggest part for me. It really had both sides, right? You had the resistance, and then you had the Danes, and then you had the German side of it all, and it's all intertwined, and it's so well done. But there's so much reading. I honestly felt like I was reading a novel half the time. The only time the voiceovers really pop up is when Gerda is giving her overall conclusion at the end of the episode. And then you have choices too of what your overall opinion is, and that can correlate with that, and then gives you all your points or minus points and that kind of situation, right? Dude, I thought the game was fantastic. I do enjoy the art style. I think it lends itself again to the Switch. I think if I was going to recommend the game on one platform over the other, I'd definitely go for the Switch, because I was using my controller, right? Or dude, it has touchscreen on the Switch, so I was able to do that as well. I didn't use it as often. I found myself using the controls themselves. Overall, though, dude, I think this game is really cool. It is a novel and a half to read, though. So it does tend to be a little long, right? That's my only major complaint.
Shoot at other soldiers. In the air, pilots bring down rival airmen. And on the sea, sailors hurl volleys at enemies.
Well, Cory, we had a unique experience. Dude, I love the point and click adventure genre, and it's nice to see how they're starting to turn things around a little bit and kind of innovating. What are you scoring, Gerda Flamin' Winter?
You know what? This one actually did surprise me. Like I said, we played a bunch of games in this genre before, and some of them hit, some of them didn't, but there is a really good story here. You get really invested in the characters, and like I said earlier, I do really enjoy how the conversations work and how you can build up trust and points for certain things that kind of, lead you on the choices you make later on in the game and the story. But like you said, there is a ton of reading here, and it is kind of what slowed this down for me. But overall, I got to give this one a 7.
Nice, I'm right there with you. The reading really did kind of, dude, if they could have introduced voiceovers for all that, I get there's a ton of characters. That's a lot of work and probably a lot of extra money. that will come along with that, so there is an expense to that, right? But dude, a little bit more voiceover would have just elevated that whole experience, I think, to the next level. It's a ton of reading. If you enjoy reading, I think this is absolutely a game for you, because the story is fantastic and the choices really have a weight and consequence, right? Because there are some choices that I wasn't able to access the answer to because I didn't make enough of those right choices previously. So yeah, dude, I had a great time. Cool experience. Definitely one I do recommend. And for me, I'm there with the 7 as well.